Welcome, everyone. Can you please share one word with which you're entering this session? Maybe it's a feeling, maybe it's a question, one word. How are you feeling today? What are you concentrating on? I see serene, I see excited, month and rush, hope, eager, curious, alive, excited, energized, excited, beautiful words that are coming in. A lot of different states, but it's amazing to see what a progress you are making and what insights you are having across the whole section. So you've been posting your homework, beautiful. You've been also doing quite a bit of reflections in our Telegram channel. And of course, the Telegram stays active long after the lab. It's our ongoing channel. But I was absolutely delighted to see how many of you done the homework, prioritized your different priorities, and really found the niche that you can concentrate on. Let me summarize where we've been so far. What have we covered so far? So we are all present here and we all understand the same thing. Absolutely clear that we entered this lab looking at AI as the core disruption. Originally, our toolkit was developed for every type of disruption, and today we are using AI as a practice case. But immediately it's visible that AI is not the main elephant in the room, that after this wave, there will be a next wave and next wave. And that's why improving scenario planning, risk management, agility, forecasting is showing up as almost equal priority in the most recent Pulse of Change report than the investment in the AI, because disruptions come and go. It won't be just technological disruption. We also have consumer disruptions, climate, geopolitical, social, economic, and so many disruptions. But the most important thing is that the jump in the level of disruption is massive. We've seen about 200% jump every 2 to 3 years. And because the jump is so intense, it is the world now where disruptions are breeding more disruptions and becoming families of interrelated disruptions. That's why I love the word of the year so much that I chose as my personal word of the year, metarruption, where the famous or infamous black swans now come as families and lay eggs and create more and more challenges. And what worked for us in the past when we dealt with one big disruption per 10 years is destroying us today if we're dealing with one disruption per week. You cannot survive that level of complexity and speed trying to cope with it with tools that were created for stability. What is the data showing? About every fifth company in the world is reinventing faster than the budgetary cycle, every 12 months or less. And all of you who participated in our survey for 2026 so far are already showing that about 50 plus percent, about 51% of all of you are reinventing lower number than three. So one, every two, every 3 years, under 3 years. This is a massive shift in speed. Reinventing every 75 years versus reinventing every 1 to 3 years requires a different setup altogether, requires a different mindset, requires a different culture, requires different systems, and requires different processes. And that's why it's not surprising that the December 2025 update from the World Economic Forum was that yes, AI and technological literacy are crucial, upper right quadrant, the most important skills moving forward. But equally, if not more, are crucial resilience, flexibility, and agility, creative thinking, analytical thinking, leadership and social influence, system thinking, curiosity, lifelong learning, talent management, all the core competencies that make technological change digestible, if at all possible. And it's not surprising then for 3 years in a row, PwC reports that reinvention is the most important priority for CEOs. Reinvention is their top priority in terms of their time and in terms of their money. So yellow is reinventing for the future. Red is preserving the current business. Notice much more money is going towards reinvention. A significantly smaller percentage is towards preserving the current business, and same with time. CEOs are saying we're already spending about 47% of our time reinventing, but it's not enough. We want to spend 57% of our time. What does that mean for all of us? It means that if we don't develop a regular cadence of reinvention, if we don't create a flow where we take things that no longer work and let them go, add new things, and have a clear portfolio and move from sprint to sprint with a portfolio of experiments, we will be swallowed by changes. And hopefully, most of you already arrived at your first portfolio. How many of you finished the homework for yesterday? Wave or give me a plus in the chat. Quite a few of you. Is there a clear win in your plus plus of the impact readiness matrix? Couple of ideas of what you can do that you can concentrate on. Some of you are putting a plus, a few of you saying no. I hope, Jamie, if you can clarify, no clear win or didn't do the homework. No to the homework or no to the clear win. I hope most of you are beginning to see things that you can concentrate and focus on. Are those things for long run? No. These are things for very, very short run. And hopefully, if there is no clear win, hopefully you will find a few more ideas today as we have amazing speakers coming in. But the plan for us is to bring the clarity, as Sarah saying, the impact readiness matrix really clarified the thinking, is to narrow down. And the starting point for all of your search is still, do I have an area in my work, in my life, whatever I'm reinventing this lab, in my client's work, that is highly algorithmic, things that have step-by-step repeatable processes, and which of those things I don't like to do? That's the prime area. That's the golden area that we brainstorm around when we're doing AI reinvention. AI can do a lot of things, but we don't want it to take away things we love doing. So we're not trying to give everything away. We're trying to see where are the tasks that are repeatable tasks for consultants, coaches, writing proposals, for example. For all of you working in personal brand, writing LinkedIn posts or whatever other branding techniques you use, article writing, and on and on and on. What are the areas where there is step-by-step algorithmic and I don't want to do it? I want to keep things I love, but where can I give the jobs I don't want to do to AI so that it can either speed it up, I still do the most valuable part of the job, but AI clarifies everything else, or I just don't want any of it. So this is the starting point, and I'm so happy that so many of you did the homework and the clarity emerged. But I hope we've taken you on a journey that shows you that you cannot start working on AI or any other disruption, tariffs, family emergencies, new boss, whatever disruption, new supplier, doesn't matter, new competitor. You cannot work on any disruption anymore if first you don't change your paradigm, you don't do the mindset reset from a long cycle world to a short cycle world, and you cannot start brainstorming if you don't get a biology reset, right? The paradigm reset and the biological reset. And only then we can start brainstorming which areas in my life I spend a lot of energy on doing step-by-step repeatable tasks that I want to outsource to AI, and what kind of experiments can help me early on. Today, we'll have a couple speakers who will share their experience. It's a corporate panel, so they will talk about things they do inside their companies. And tomorrow, we'll have a consultant panel, things they do in their consulting business. Hopefully, you will pick fresh ideas, and I will leave a little bit of room at the end to answer your questions around how you deal with things. But in the meantime, I want to remind you, on day one, you had a 2-second survey, 5 questions. Very simple survey on how you're feeling about uncertainty, how you're feeling about change, how you managing the disruption. Let's do that survey one more time and compare the results. So there will be a link in the chat in a second. It literally takes 1 second, and I will show you the results before and after, so that we can see how you're progressing so far. So far, we've had quite a lot of responses in the past, and let's see how many we will get this time. So just take a second and then I'll pull it on the screen to show you what we're seeing in your progress so far. We have 1 response so far. 2. Beautiful. They're coming in fast and furious. I want you to show the power of your work, how little it takes to change. We tell the story that it's hard to change, that it takes years to change, that people hate change, that meaningful transformation is impossible or very rare. And I want to show you with your own data of what happens if we have the right tool in the right sequence, and if we only spent about hour and plus 10 minutes of homework a day, what happens to us? And that's why I'm so excited every time we do this to show the striking difference, in the way we are covering up, how we are emerging. So I will just highlight a couple of shifts here. So this was your before. This was your before on comfortable with uncertainty. Before, 32% of you felt uncomfortable. 32% of you felt uncomfortable with uncertainty. And right now it's only 11%. That's a massive jump. In just 3 days, 3 hours a day, you went from 30% uncomfortable with uncertainty with 10% uncomfortable uncertainty. Imagine if you're doing that with your team. Those of you who are consultants, coaches, trainers, wave or give me a plus in the chat. Yeah, imagine you do that for your clients. That before you shift and do any massive work, you do a little bit of prep. It took us a couple of hours. And suddenly you go from 32% uncomfortable with uncertainty to only less than 11% uncomfortable with uncertainty. Another question that we always love to look at is clear ideas. So when we started, 68% of you, almost 69, didn't really have clear ideas. So the clarity of what to do was missing. Now, only 23% of you don't have clear ideas. That is an incredible shift from, it's almost polar opposite, from 68%, I don't have any clarity, to barely 23% saying, I don't have clarity. 76% of you do. Again, imagine what happens if we just have the right set of tools used in the right sequence. What kind of foundation we are laying for the further work. Because the work is just starting. After the lab, you actually need to go and do the experiments you decided on. But you're starting from a different footing. You're starting with a different clarity. You're starting with a different reality. And I just want to congratulate you. Look, 3 hours of your dedicated work, and it's a massive jump. So you need to pat yourself everywhere. I'm watching you. Those of you on videos, Sarah is patting. Paul is patting. Aigul is patting. You need to, give yourself some positive thing. You did this. And it doesn't need to be hard, and it doesn't need to be complex, and it doesn't need to be long. It can be just a few hours and a little bit of markers and paper and few homeworks, and you get yourself ready. Get yourself ready to move forward. And I'm just so honored that you are doing this journey with us and you are fully present. And of course, each day we choose a winner who participates in the chat and comes to our Telegram channel and shares deep reflections. And this time around, we are very honored and thankful to give this set of prizes. And remember, it's not over. You can still win the set of prizes. Just come to the Telegram channel, participate, by sharing your insights. This is how the Telegram channel looks. I also record all kind of behind the scenes videos and show you my office and give you all kind of explanations here and explain that it's not a fake background behind me. It's a actual office and this is where I work. So stay in the channel, but big warm congratulations to Linda Sinatra. Congratulations. Thank you for your deep and honest insights. You've been all so honest. So we are honored that you are here. Now, guys, let me repeat for those of you who are still wrapping your mind around. We reset the frame, the paradigm, we get our biology in order, and then we get to brainstorm and narrow. Brainstorm and narrow. At Reinvention Academy, one of the beloved tools we have is called Agile Strategy Canvas. It's way too complex for the lab. We're not gonna cover it. It's easy to use, but it won't be a 2-second presentation, so it's beyond the limits of the lab. But the essence of the premise around agile strategy is that you start working in short sprints. So you decide, here's a few things I'm gonna do in the next couple of months. You set an agenda for yourself and you review what worked, and you said, well, actually, this experiment worked, but this did not work, and this did not work. So this one I continue into the new sprint. And for the new sprint, I will add a couple more. You come back for another review what helps, and you continue with a new set. And that becomes our life indefinitely. Every few months, we have a new sprint and we look at the reality and the feedback, what worked and what didn't work, and we create an opportunity for the new things. So those of you who are comfortable, it's not confidential. Can you put in the chat what experiments you're gonna planning? What at the end of your impact readiness matrix, what were your plus? High impact and high readiness. So you have 2 or 3 experiments you're planning to run. Share in the chat if you have if it's not confidential, what experiments are you planning to run in the near future? Yeah, for us, we continue at Reinvention Academy. We continue with simple AI-enabled coding for all of our communications. So if those of you saw that we switched in our newsletter from a very basic newsletter to a type of a newsletter, I think it came out today, so let me see if I can find it, to a type of newsletter that looks very official and presentable and pretty. Let me see if I can easily find. I get so much email, including email from myself, that it's hard for me to switch super easily. But one of the places we are definitely adding more AI is making sure that when we can do very simple AI-enabled coding, we do. For example, this is our recent newsletter. And you remember our previous newsletters were just simple text. Now it's a lot of beautiful visuals and sections and highlights and all kind of things like background. All of this is AI-enabled coding. So that's one of the areas that we will continue to do. Simple improvements, easy, cheap. Rurik says that there is email inbox, legal writing, legal research. Absolutely. Liz says, I will use AI for marketing efforts and for financial analysis. Love that. Financial analysis for me, Claude is definitely the top option that I've seen. So I would suggest Claude for financial analysis, including building financial models. Using AI for client engagement letter prep. Kathy, this is excellent, right? How do I mass customize emails for our clients, making them much more personal to them, beautiful. Multiple income adventure for myself and daughter. Validation of assumption of paying with ownership dependency tax. Love that. Research AI products and platform, invest where possible, try to calculate my own agents, producing an online course to scale my training. Love that. All of those are excellent experiments. So the goal now is to make sure you get into the cadence. So as we did before, get out your calendar. I'm watching you, those of you on video. Get out your calendar. Choose a sprint. Some of you might just have a 1 month sprint. Some of you might need a 2 month sprint. Maybe it's 6 weeks. Some even have shorter 2 week sprints. Many people love 2 week sprints. Choose a sprint and put a reminder in calendar for your reprioritization on AI. Choose a date, time, set a section, sit with yourself, and make sure you get into cadence. Remember, reinvention is not an event. It's not a project. It's a continuous process. It's like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. Does it mean that I'm in a shower every minute of every day? No, my skin would peel off. Same, I don't want you reinventing every second of every day. Your skin will peel off. But I go to a shower regularly? God bless my family, I do. Otherwise, I would stink up the room. So, same with our products and services. If we don't wash them off on a regular basis, not every second of every day, but on a regular basis, things stop being healthy, stop being clean, stop working. So, our number one priority, heartbeat. Remember that visual heartbeat. We don't want, I don't know where I do that. We think that resilience and stability is this. But in organic living systems like ourselves, this is a beep line at the end of death. We are not here for this version of stability. We don't want this version of stability. This is a heart attack. We want a healthy heartbeat, a period of relatively incremental changes, followed by the period of quite radical jump. Incremental, radical, incremental, radical. So if you line this up with your cycles, right? This is your cycles. This is your incremental. This is your radical. Incremental, radical, incremental, radical, incremental, radical. When we're jumping the S curve, we were a dentist and we're now becoming a programmer. We had a corporate role and now we're becoming a consultant. That's a moment of quite big jump. But once we made the jump, are we sitting down and doing nothing? No, we're still doing more of a incremental intermediate reinvention. But all of it is a heartbeat. We have a bigger jump, smaller, bigger, smaller, bigger, smaller. No heart attack necessary. No heart attack necessary. And to illustrate this point, I'm extremely honored that I have three incredible speakers join me today from their experience of using the Reinvention Toolkit in a corporate environment. And since I'm talking about heartbeat, the first person I'll bring on stage is Donna Miller, who works in healthcare industry, trained as a nurse, and was running for mayor of Las Vegas. So I still tell to Donna, I absolutely want her to make sure that she comes back to her political career. I'm also bringing on from Germany, Frank. Frank Henry works in consulting industry, a large consulting company, just reinventing. He will tell more about it in a large consulting business, over 6,000 employees. And I am looking for Anna. Let me see if I can find Anna. If my team can spotlight Anna as well, because for some reason it's not working for me here. Oh, here we go. Just added spotlight. Anna is reinventing in Raiffeisen Bank. All of you, of course, are certified reinvention professionals, and I'm so thankful that you took this journey with us. So let's get going. Before I ask you about AI, I'll ask you in general about what are you reinventing in your environment and how is it going? What are you reinventing in your environment and how is it going? Donna, let's start with you.
Well, good morning, everyone. Well, good morning on my side of the world. And thank you so much for the invitation to participate on this lab. It's always a pleasure. I love the Reinvention Academy for one big reason, for many reasons, but the main reason for me was that it really brought me to believe in my instincts again. It didn't It didn't change who I was, but it really reminded me of who I was, and it helped me. It gave me the tools to bring that to the surface and use it in the best way that benefited me. When it comes to reinvention, I was a healthcare provider, a leader in the air ambulance, so medical transportation space for about 25 years. And I came across one of your labs, Nadia, when I thought I was ending a 25-year career in air ambulance. And little did I know that the tools that you gave me totally inspire me in going back and saying, what's going on in today's dynamics is very difficult. Air ambulance model is not sustainable. And it is the perfect time to reinvent that. How do we transport patients, whether it's regionally or internationally or nationwide? It's something that has occupied my mind and my time, and I deposited pretty much all my effort towards in the last couple of years. So that is one project that, if you were to ask me which tool helped me the most from the ones that you handed on a platter, I can't pick one because really I had to start from the Titanic syndrome. One of my favorite perhaps is it was my fear of resistance. I've seen it all along. We've done this. Why would we change it now? So from all the tools that you gave me, changing resistance into buy-in has been one of my favorite, especially because while I am changing how medical transportation is being done, I anticipated that changing that resistance, meeting resistance, and changing that resistance into buy-in will be the hardest. And you know what? It's not. People
It's not.
are ready, and it totally surprised me as long as was able to present it to them in clear ways, which is another big um, um, you know, quality that you bring to for my reinvention for my reinvention tools is that clarity, and that helped a lot, and that's why I was totally smiling when I saw your association with the death and the heart attack and the normal rhythm, because you know what, that speaks to me volumes and to my community of healthcare providers, of nurses.
Love that. Absolutely love that. So, reinventing the business model of the air ambulance is very different world from where Frank is sitting, which is big consulting. And specifically, Frank, I know you as a partner have led the arm of public sector, which is definitely not the easiest to reinvent. So, how did you enter into the reinvention story, and what are some of your favorite cases and tools?
Oh, Nadia, at first, thank you for inviting me here this evening. Second point, I don't know what happened with my camera. I have no blood pressure. I'm really, really healthy, but my face is totally red, what I'm seeing here.
You
So I'm
look
happy.
good on our end.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. I was working, and I say I was working 25 years for a European consultant company. I made the decision at the end of the last year to leave the company, to leave my role as a partner starting in 26, to think about reinvent myself. At beginning, this is a milestone for myself at the beginning of 27 to start something new, more on my emotional passion or on my rational passion. I did 25 years. I guess it will be a mix because I can't leave this what I lived 25 years on. It was the core government in Germany and on the European base. So I learned you, I guess, 8 years before, Nadia. I joined the practitioner course, and I, in small doses, I brought the conception of the reinvention into the leadership meetings and the projects I had with the government, federal government, primary work. This is a hard work because the system is a system. And even if the people and the leadership want to move, want to change the things, there are barricades, there are walls, by law, by whatever, by political process, so they can't move as fast as they want. So they are daily work in a really stressy moment, even if they want to change the things. So, and this was part of my business, to think a bit further, to get a bit more speed, to um, think about the things which can be done, even if it's not allowed now by law. So this was one of my thoughts as a strategy consultant. The first reinvention point was Corona, because the government saw it can be happened. We can be digital. We can work in another way. This was amazing, amazing what happened over these years. And the second 3 years later was when AI was coming. And this was a dangerous moment because everyone is sitting, even the government employees, in the evening on the couches, on the sofas, and playing around with AI. In the next morning, they have to come back to their job, maybe secured in the ministries, and can't use these instruments by now. Because for security reasons, there are US companies, we are here in Germany or in Europe, there are so many restrictions, and even these guys getting in conflicts on top. They want to have AI, they can't use AI, and there are opportunities. This is a really huge moment for reinvention and searching for opportunities by tech. And for me, it's more important by the people that they can't get lost, even the leadership. So this was, I was focusing, and my heart blood was in. And yeah, being glad about telling more about this, I can speak about 5 hours, you know.
One thing I want to highlight before I give it to Anna, thank you so
Yeah,
much, Frank, is to remind you the difference between content consulting and process consulting, and
of course.
within companies, content leadership and process leadership. So for longest time, we were expected to be content experts. Whether you're in a corporate environment or in consulting, you were there to come and say, yes, use AI like this, only use ChatGPT, only with this settings, only with this prompts. Or we were to say, no, government should not use AI. So we were supposed to come with a ready-made, off-the-shelf answer.
I
And that
totally
worked.
agree, Nadine.
Yeah, that
Totally.
worked very well in this long cycle world because answers were working for decades, if not longer, definitely years. But today,
I was sitting,
yeah,
I was
I will
sitting
just finish
in
this thought, Frank, and then I'll pass it back to you. Today, it's about process consulting. It's coming up with the answers together, knowing that their shelf life will be very short. And then coming with new answers together, knowing that they will only serve us for a couple of months. So, Frank, maybe you want to illustrate that, and then I'll pass it to Anna.
just one sentence. In 2016, I was sitting in Vienna in our partner meeting, annual partner meeting with all the partners of my company, and we had this design thinking workshop. And I stand in front of them and that consulting business will totally change within the next 10 years. It's not the hierarchy and the structure and the business model we worked for 100 years. And maybe they thought I'm stupid, etc. pp. I was convinced of that, and I didn't know anything about ChatGPT in 2016. Yeah? So, and
Absolutely.
consulting
Absolutely.
business will totally change. I'm more than convinced about it. And yes, it's not anymore talking about skills as a consultant, it's about leading the process. And I have a third dimension. I wrote it on Monday in the chat. It's about behavior, that the people change their behavior against technology and the new things which will happen in the organization. The skilled up of the people who can face these kind of change. Then every organization will be lost by technology. No?
Absolutely. Anna, you are doing this work at Raiffeisen Bank, and you brought with you your toolkit. And before that, you were in insurance business, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
So you've been traveling from different financial institutions with this toolkit, and you have some interesting experiments you're running. So what's your reinvention journey? What are your favorite stories, tools you're using?
First of all, hello from my side as well. It's an honor to be here. Yes, we are at Raiffeisen Landesbank Steiermark. We are reinventing on many levels. And one of my favorite parts of my job, I'm a part of innovation team there, is that I'm responsible for actually bringing innovation education to employees. Because, however, it is still very much true that fear of change and fear, innovation and reinvention are still can be such big words for employees, and bringing them in and actually making people aware of how reinvention is something that really can change your life, not only on a business, but also on a personal level, which, my story that happened to me because I completely changed career, changed countries, accepted job in Austria without even speaking German language at the beginning. So it was quite a reinvention path for me, but everything happened together with CRP knowledge that it was given to me in 2023 when I was, doing the program, and also together with Global Alliance of Reinvention Professionals. Their support was as well very important on my journey. And yes, the goal is that innovation and reinvention become part of everybody's daily business and responsibility, because we're all responsible in the end for co-creating the future of our workplaces, and not just the workplaces, also the whole company to stay relevant and thrive. And at Raiffeisen, we really want to make reinvention practical and safe to try, fun and interesting, with hands-on challenges, reflections, debrief afterwards, simple tools that you can reuse the next day. And one of my favorite, and not just mine, also employees' favorite example of it was our immersive education format, Innovation Escape Room. We ran it in the bank, and it was a huge success. More than 140 employees participating totally voluntarily. And we use this format to introduce employees to various concepts. We introduced how important is reinvention on the case of companies that fell from the list Fortune 500. We introduced it to acquaint people with Alexander Osterwalder's export logic, which we are using, and also the business model canvas. So we show employees how we validate ideas in a structured way, etc., etc. Why it worked so well? Well, it was experimental. People didn't just hear about it; they actually used the methods, and in a playful environment. It was safe, because the format also lowered the fear of saying something wrong, in which is usually the case in a normal classroom, let's say. And that's why I think participation really went up. And it was also the social aspect of it, because people either joined alone and were connected with other people from other departments. So we actually both cross silo collaboration, and as well as team buildings, if they joined as a team. And actually the tools were immediately transferable. We gave them afterwards handbooks how they can use it in their departments, and it worked perfectly. And for other tools, there's one that I really, really like personally, and we use it also in the bank, is the reinvention map. Because it acts like a compass for us. It forces clarity on the basics, actually, why we create value, for whom we create value, what actually needs to change in order to protect or the growth of that values. And we actually use it also in a way to make work more concrete. What is the problem that we are really solving, and not just the symptom. Yeah.
Love that. Can you say a few more about the Innovation Escape Room? So it's a physical room, it's like a classroom. What happens inside? If I enter, what happens?
Yes, it's actually because Raiffeisen is quite a traditional bank, and we somehow staged the room as going back into 1980s, 1990s, the beginning of 1990s. So it was with old computer and all maps and the stuff that was there in the offices. And yeah, also this and actually what it was is to help, let's say, the bank that was in danger is in danger, to help them, help bring it to another level, bring it out of the 1980s to the current time.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, let me ask all of you. I think we all need an escape room. People are voting for an escape room. Let's all of you share a little bit now, shifting the gears towards more of AI response. We, of course, developed our tools for universal disruptions. So people use it for ambulance reinvention, bank reinvention, consulting reinvention, technological, social, regulatory, customer is no longer there, supply chain disruption, any type of disruptions. And AI is a different animal, it seems. It's almost like it's such a big, hairy animal with so many implications that is truly a meta-ruption. It's a family of disruptions. It's not just one disruption anymore. Let me ask the first thing, how each of you personally using AI, not using AI, and making sense about your personal strategy when it comes to AI, including conversation perhaps about your kids. Should they not use it heavily? Is it cheating? Is it the other way around? What about your personal take? Let's go in any random order. Whoever wants to jump in first, just wave. How you personally using AI?
I would say that I see AI as a co-pilot, not autopilot, right? So coming from the aviation world, that makes a lot of difference to me. I think AI is a tool. It's good to check and double check. It's good to have that instant reach to everything that's out there, right? I think that that's a huge advantage that AI brings to me, whether personally or professionally. The time that it would take me to research certain things, it got literally down to seconds when I would have spent days to learn what college to go to, how to compare this to that. So I think that there is a lot of value to that. AI will never be replacing judgment, right? Or clinical judgment or personal judgment. AI will not change or replace the ethical decisions. All of that still stays with us as humans, and it keeps us accountable, right? I can't say I've done this because AI told me to do so, right? I do believe that AI is part of our everyday life nowadays. Again, speaking personally or professionally, if you're not using AI as part of your leadership, and more than that, just like Anna was talking about with teaching AI to the employees, we do the same in our company, where along with we have initial and recurrent training and clinical aspects or safety aspects or aviation aspects. We incorporated initial and recurring training in reinvention. And that is part of our policy and procedure book. That is part of what I want all of us to speak, the language that I want all of us to speak. So that is really no clear, delineation between personal and professional. It all, works together for me.
Beautiful. Anybody else? How do you personally use AI and what strategy you use for your response? Anna, Frank?
Yeah,
Don't
I
use it.
jump
Use
in.
it heavily.
I jump in. Um, One of my greatest passion is photography, and I'm totally fascinating by using AI for correction pictures. But this is hobby. Maybe it becomes a profession this year. Don't know. But using AI on the business side, it gives more efficiency. It makes things faster. when companies decided to write a proposal 100% by AI and every competitor make the same decision, what happens at the end when AI is writing the best proposal multiplied by the numbers of competitions? This I began to think over what happens with all the rules, with all the processes, public procurement, where all the traditional systems come to an end because the new stuff is coming over. Who will make the decision what AI proposal is the best and what company is standing behind? Think about. I was here last year, the third time at the We Are Developer Conference in Berlin. There are 15,000 developers who coming together in Berlin and talking about what happens really in the back rooms around AI. 2 years ago, everyone was ever speaking about AI. It was new. And the 15,000 people who are coding these guys with Google, with NVIDIA, etc., everyone was there. 1 year later, last year, nobody talks about AI anymore. Everything was focused on running AI agents. And what the business side, the business organization are thinking about what opportunities we have with AI agents, they are still running. I came back Friday evening to an Italian restaurant, sitting down with my wife, and she said, what happens with you? Are you sad or something else? No, I'm thinking about what I heard 2 days. And I'm really feel not comfortable what happened when I'm joining this conference next year in 26. I have the tickets in Berlin again. So what I want to say, this technology is running so fast. When we are talking about AI and the opportunities, what we can do, the technology is much more further in front of us. It could be that it's overall everything, the branches. I'm maybe painting a dark side, but this is part of my business life as a consultant to say what happens in the worst case. And when the CEO from Google stand in front of all the people and said, the AI, the super AI will come, worry about, it will become in 27, at latest in 28. Then we have to think about what happened in the next 1.5 years. And Nadia, this is a meta reinvention. Because think about what happens when the meta AI in 2 years is coming. Security problems, government side, security problems on the organizational side. So this is another slot. This could be a 1 week meeting about thinking about what does it mean for reinvention, also with the speed limit, with no speed limit, how to react and how to change and maybe get resilient, what happens in the next 2 years. This is for me the important questions about not using AI for writing letters. It's just for the next 24, 38 months. And I'm convinced there will be happened a lot. Sorry for this disrupting thoughts.
And here, the principle I want to give as a solution, because I think most of us are quite aware of problems,
Yeah.
or at least some sides of potential problems, whether it's with AI or anything else. We can do the same exercise for geopolitics and create a risk map. In geopolitics, we can do exercises for everything else. It is not about getting scared of what's coming, because change is inevitable and it's going to keep coming. It's understanding the core principle of reinvention, which is the more volatile and uncertain it becomes externally, the more cohesive, however you want to draw cohesive, but strong and cohesive we need to become internally. And that's the main job of reinvention, is I don't know what's coming, but my inner, whether I'm talking about myself as a human being, my team, my company, my inner cohesion, my capacity to figure it out, my capacity to have quality decision making, my biological regulation, my psychological stability, my toolkit, All of that needs to be developed before, forgive my language, shit hits the storm. When it's already here, it's too late. So that's why you build the muscles before the big thing. You build them every day incrementally. And the most important principle I want you to remember from this part, the more volatile and uncertain things on the external side of a system outside of you, yourself, your company, your family, your team, your community, the more cohesion and investment and continuous realignment and rebalancing needs to happen internally. Anna, how are you dealing with AI personally in your workspace?
Yeah, I heard last week Jonathan Courtney how he divided people regarding the AI fluency in three groups: AI tourists, AI tinkerers, and AI natives. And I consider myself, let's say, an AI tinkerer. I experiment with it. I try different prompts. I iterate. I use different AI tools also in my workspace. Not not only Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, or ChatGPT. I've been using Synthesia because also, for example, for other learning formats, we really have a lot of them for creating my avatar, who is speaking German fluently, and teaching my employees different tools. Yes, so what I in my professional field am noticing again, and it's something that you've mentioned during this week over and over again, that AI adoption is not only a data problem, it's for most an emotional one. And we also conducted the research as an innovation team in the bank. And of course, the dominant concern was how will my AI, how will my identity change where AI becomes prevalent, and will I still be needed? Will I still be good at my job, etc., etc. Those are the questions that are the burning questions right now. And I think since departments leading digital transformations, typical focus on systems, governance, risk, rollouts, I think it's actually our innovation team job to somehow bridge this. That we are a bridge between digital transformation departments and employees, and that we create this safe role-based paths into AI. Also using different reinvention tools, such as you've mentioned, Fear to Action, again, Reinvention Map, and Stellar Canvas, which is a perfect tool to make this change actually tangible.
Love that. Well, let me ask you the last question, just 1 minute each as we're wrapping up. You all decided to try out the Reinvention Academy programs. Why and what happened as a result? In a short 1 minute summary, why did you join the Reinvention Academy and what happened? Donna, let's start with you.
So I am too an immigrant. So I am a reinventor. I've been a reinventor all along, right? You say that every time. And I just didn't know it. So by when I joined the Reinvention Academy, it afforded me to better understand my own thoughts, and it provided me clarity, and gave me the methodology and the tools to organize my thoughts and my approach. So it gave me new energy, it gave me the confidence, and that was the most important part to me, because quite often I double gas, especially when I was the only one saying let's go right and everybody else was saying let's go left. So it gave me the confidence to stick with my thoughts and my idea of doing things, even though that meant being alone for a while, because eventually it came to show that my direction was actually right, even though everybody else was saying to go the opposite direction. So that's my best takeaway. It reminded me. It didn't change me into somebody else. It reminded me of who I was.
I
Thank
love
you.
that. Frank, for everyone who is just first time at a Reinvention Academy event and never heard of the word reinvention before, what would be your best advice?
open-minded. And even if you are thinking you are the best cook in the kitchen, uh, try to get in contact with the concept, with the Titanic syndrome, and also with the reinvention methodology, because it brings another perspective of things you might do over the last years, but it gives you inspiration, it gives you a framework, an easy framework. And my experience is I never used it one by one at my clients, government, English, blah, blah, but the transfer, pick it up and bring it in the workshops, in your storyline. And this helps me much. It opened eyes. It was a new entry for the methodology to get open eyes, get attraction. And this, I was very glad to have this collection of experience over all the years since I know you. Sorry, the
Beautiful.
coffee machine.
Absolutely. And Anna, what would be your advice for somebody who's just for the first time hearing the word reinvention, it's their first lap? What's your advice?
Don't be afraid of it. Start small, start simple, maybe just reinvent a personal habit that you are not longer satisfied with or you want to improve, just to build the muscle. And if you feel like I did when I decided for the CRP program that it was for me, it was the time to change, to elevate, to break from maybe old paths that weren't aligned with my vision and purpose anymore. CRP program did that for me. It gave me courage. It gave me confidence to break, let's say, cycles or paths that no longer serve me. And not just that, I mentioned this and I have to mention it again. This is such a community of people that are open-minded, growth-oriented, basically making the world a better place. And it means a lot if you have somebody that you can count on to support you, to help you when life gets challenging. And yeah.
Love that. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day. And of course, keep us posted on all the big victories that are all around. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much.
Thank you.
And for everyone, today is the day to nail down your portfolio even more clearly. Look at the chat with all the different things people are experimenting with. Choose a few things you're going to concentrate on and make sure you tighten your decision. So tomorrow I can give you the last step of how to actually stick with it. And of course, so many of you are already asking about more details on the program. I mentioned that on the Telegram channel. The easiest way to start the program that is the next to open. We have programs open in different times of the year. In March, we have an excellent program starting our flagship program called Certified Reinvention Practitioner. And this is a great place to start. Just browse through the website. You will see all the reasons why we created it, who it works for. And now we are having two tracks, a corporate track for in-house experts and a consulting coaching track for independent professionals. So you can learn more about the results our students are getting, the way exactly it works, how many sessions, what's included, how that compares to other programs in certificate space, and what tools you get as a license for life, because all the tools you get, you don't need to ever re-qualify or pay us any more fees. And the easiest thing is, of course, to schedule a call with one of our alumni so that you know if this is a fit for you. It's not a fit for everyone. That's why I always ask, just talk to someone who's been in your shoes. Tell them what's your priority, what's your goal, and they can help you. Maybe we have a program for you and maybe we don't, but they can suggest an alternative, a book, a course, a conference, some other place. So the best place is to schedule a call, and we would absolutely love to explore with you how we can help. I will spend a little bit more time tomorrow diving deeper into actions. How do you take your portfolio to the next level, and 3 secrets that allow you to keep the momentum. So make sure you look at your ideas, tighten it up into a more cohesive portfolio of experiments you want to test out in the next 2 months or so. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you to my panel. Big hugs to all. Bye, everyone.